Okay, I'm going to talk about the key issues. For the key issues, I will list three aspects. For the first one is the cause and consequence of work pressure. Two is the impact of personal negative emotions on surrounding colleges and organizations. And the last is the suggestion. For the cause and consequence of work pressure, the factors include job factors, job content and job-related characteristics such as job certification, positiveness, work reason, conflict of role, excessive working hours, and unreasonable rotation system. Number two is the organizational factors, including everything that an individual is exposed to when performing specific work, including two types of physical environment stressors and psychological environment stressors. Physical environment stressors resources refers to factors including the workplace. The source of psychological environment pressure refers to the pressure caused by factors in interpersonal relationships. Number three is the factors not related to work. In addition to pressure resources from the working environment, there are some pressure resources that are not related to work, such as actions or major illnesses, unstable economic resources, and family events, such as divorce, partner, and family suffering from major illness or death. This will affect the individual psychological and produce pressure. Number four is the personal factor. Take the type A personality group as an example. When people mention the type A personality, they usually use some words to describe this type of person. For example, for enthusiasm, strong conscientiousness, no patience, strong motivation. This is a sense of urgency to do anything. Conversely, persons with type B personality have different behavior. Then we talking about the impact of stress. The impact of stress on individual can roughly divide in two aspects, psychological and physical. The impact of stress is specifically manifest in the following aspects. Number one is the behavior. Work stress will have a certain impact on employers' behavior, such as the use of drugs or alcohol, the number of medical treatments, and the risk of virus disease may increase. Number two is the physical health. This is the possibility on surrounding from hauntation, headache, or migraine disease, migraine and digestive organ disease, response system disease, and cancer. And then the impact on personal negative emotion on surrounding colleges and organizations. These bad emotions are not have a huge impact on the individual's own psychological and mental health, but also affect other people around. High level of tension and stress can cause confidence between people. Like Kirby is a very capable employer. We can see from the table on the company performance review that his technical knowledge and management ability have made the company's requirements very well. However, according to customs survey and the evaluation of Kirby's colleges, we can see that many employers in their company are related to carry out projects with him because he is always around and does not give his work partner the corresponding respect. And Having negative emotion not only affects the emotions of colleagues around him, but also have a negative impact on the efficiency on the organization's operation. The impact of working pressure is often reflected in the behavior and emotions of employers, which also cause certain losses to the enterprise, such as the increase in absenteeism and turnover rates, the decline in the quality of working efficiency, the strike of employees, and the reduction of production. All of these actions will have a negative impact on the company. To a certain extent, the friction between him and other members will certainly produce some resistance to the normal progress of the company's projects, because negative emotion will distract employees. Other employees will devote some of their employees to discussing the pressure and negative emotion there. The interactive activity 3. What are your way to relieve stress and negative emotion? My suggestion is according to the characteristic to Kirby's affair. I think Custom can provide Kirby with suggestions in the following 3 aspects in an execution way. In a three aspect way. Number 1 is do more sports. Kirby has a history of heart disease, and maybe he can improve his physical conditions through a certain exercise. He can relax by physical activity. For example, do some exercise several times a week. This is also an efficient method of adjusting breathing, namely abdominal breathing. In addition, he can relax by projecting yoga, jogging, or listening to music, swimming, or even traveling. In terms of mental relaxation, meditation is the right choice. 2 is communicate more. The purpose of communication is to make things settle smooth and instead of causing quarrels. This is what Kirby needs to pay attention to. Efficient communication will also reduce the original historicity of the 2 sides and will allow things to be resolved more smooth. In addition, communication is also an art, which is window for the display of human intelligence, communication, and quickest and most efficient way for managers and subordinates to find and solve problems together. And communication also conducive to the resolution of conflicts between members of the organization. It is a skill essential for productive management. Number 3, Kirby can try some more intelligent and gentle way when dealing with something, rather than rudely express bad emotion directly. Emotion intelligence is actually a kind of ability. The kind of ability is that people can analyze the environment and deal with problems more rational, and it will make people face difficulties and troubles in a better attitude. Because emotional intelligence is also indispensable for a good manager. Under other conditions unchanged, a person's emotional intelligence may determine the height of person's future development, and emotion regulation knowledge may facilitate the achievement of any goals by helping individuals generate the particular emotions that are conducive to achieve the goal. Number 4 is Kirby should try to control his tempo and should not be angry with employers and partners. When people encounter behavior and result that you do not meet their expectation or are contrary to their own ideas, they may have the urge to vent. If this impulse is not controlled, it will turn into an emotional out of control. People who are out of control will release negative emotions in extreme forms, the extreme degree of which is related to the cause of anger and the degree of individual anger. And the degree of individual control of emotion, leaders' angers will have a certain degree of negative impact of the performance. When the leader is angry, the subordinate may have fear, which is also not conducive to the subordinates to express their views. At the same time, the anger of leaders will also interfere with the expression of their own language, because at the same time their words are often more rational and erupt. They often make things not only unsolvable, the problem also fails to risk of further deterioration. In fact, individuals can regulate their anger experience through a range of possible responses, depending to the assignment of the dramatics of the organizational situation, their own personal tendencies, and their understanding of emotional norms operating. Kirby can try to stop talking for half a minute, no longer, when he is angry, because it is difficult to control his intelligence. When a person is angry, he can stop arguing first, and waiting for the mob swarming to subside before discussing with the other party from a more objective perspective. Thirdly, Kirby can manage his own way of speaking and expressing. No matter who caused the error, he can first consider how to solve the problem that occurred, rather than balance the verbal attack first, because too much balance is useless to solve things, and it will also have a negative impact to employers' emotion, which will affect their working mode and efficiency. And that's all. And here is my reference list. Thank you.